Which was worst, Kung Fu Panda 4 or Megamind 2? I think DreamWorks lost all the steam it had built up from the success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is interesting to say the least. We had Ruby Gillman, Megamind 2, and now this. I think one thing everyone agreed on was that it should have stayed a trilogy. This fourth installment of the Kung Fu Panda series seems to confirm all of the fans' worst fears. Honestly, I'm terrified of what the next Toy Story movie will bring. A large portion of the fan base held out hope that DreamWorks would replicate the success of Puss 2, which was a sequel to a spin-off of a character from a previous sequel. We had high hopes. Some were cautiously optimistic that the studio and showrunners would acknowledge the franchise's immense popularity among both fans and the wider public and create some magic for the fourth film. Because let's be real, a lot of us knew it would take magic. But I suppose that was just wishful thinking. Po faces his hardest fight yet with the chameleon in Kung Fu Panda 4. The enemy can become anyone and mimic their abilities, creating a new alien threat. Po follows the chameleon to bring peace to Juniper City and its surroundings. In the dramatic finale, Po gains a beloved ally and discovers his true calling. The movie's biggest issue is what they did with the villains. In the film, Tai Lung appears for about 2.5 minutes, even though featured on the poster. Having no dialogue between Kai and Shin is annoying enough. But when you consider that Shin is arguably DreamWorks' greatest villain, it becomes even more aggravating. On paper, the notion of Tai Lung forgiving Po isn't terrible. If he had been a decent character, I'd have wholeheartedly supported his redemption. But I stopped supporting him after the first two. Maybe Shen would have forgiven him because he clearly struggled with the consequences of his acts. He knew they were wrong, but it was too late to do anything about it. Maybe he could have accepted his guilt after he died, but Kai? After Po sent him back to the spirit realm, Kai should have brutally punished him. The villain's desire to return to the spirit realm is another perplexing thing to me. They should try again because what's holding them back? Helshen's return is puzzling to me. I don't even know why the chameleon brought back Shen and Kai. Shen was not a spirit warrior like Kai or a kung fu master like Tai Lung, but rather an intelligent general with a passing proficiency in kung fu, and basically had nothing that she would want. She didn't seem to want to build cannons. I also don't believe that she would know who Kai was. His whole deal in the third movie was that he was forgotten. Even Shifu didn't know him. It also seemed like his spirit got blown up in the last movie, so I'm pretty sure he should be completely gone. I think that the movie would have been better if they just didn't appear. They brought back Tai Lung, Lord Shen, and Kai, and instead of giving them a heartfelt reunion with Po and skillfully incorporating them into the plot, they are used as mere plot devices and kept in cages throughout the film. The fact that Lord Shen and Kai say absolutely nothing just adds insult to injury. Did they really think it would be impossible to find voice actors that sounded similar? Envision Po and the Fab Five engaging in combat with Tai Lung, Shen, Kai, and even the chameleon. A major warning sign was the absence of the Furious Five. Since Po thrives in situations with supporting characters, the fact that most of those closest to him are absent highlights this. The most heartbreaking aspect is that Po actually takes Jen under his wing as an apprentice, which is what I was expecting Jen to be. It would have made perfect sense for the five to seek out their own apprentices, thereby passing the torch from Oogway to the next generation. However, despite the little time they spend together, the two behave as if they are best friends in the end. It felt really rushed. The chameleon's biggest flaw is that she has absolutely no connection to the characters. Tai Lung was associated with Shifu, Shen with Po, and Kai with Oogway as the first three villains. In addition to providing compelling emotional arcs for the protagonists to traverse, the interplay between these characters offered a fascinating backstory. Oogway finds solace in the knowledge that the dragon warrior will put an end to his old friend. Po triumphs over the anguish that Shen inflicted upon him, and Shifu overcomes his guilt for failing Tai Lung. If the chameleon had been somehow connected to Po, or, as a crazy idea, actually made use of her chameleon powers, she would have reaped much more benefits. Some fans gave the idea that imagine if she played the role of Po's sidekick in the film, impersonating someone like Mr. Ping, his father, or even one of the Furious Five if they made an appearance, in order to manipulate his feelings. If the film's middle half hadn't been betrayed, Po would be in a nightmarish state, unsure of who to trust. Using the chameleon's abilities for something other than insincere fan service would be a great idea. Considering how well Kung Fu Panda 3 concluded, it feels forced, even though it was planned for there to be 6 movies. In the end, Po kills the chameleon when she attacks, proving his trust in Jen. She passed her hardest test. Dojos rejected the chameleon throughout her life. She became a crime boss and wanted to conquer cities, level up, and defy naysayers. Po frees all warriors who return to the spirit realm with chameleon and has Tai Lung's approval. Kung Fu Panda 4 ends with Jen shadowing Po. To become a spiritual leader, he needed a successor throughout the film. He now realizes the selfless human Jen should be an apprentice. Po can meditate and practice Jen. With Po's furious 5 partners on another mission, they drill harder at the Jade Temple. The worst part is that this sequel and Megamind 2 could have genuinely been masterpieces if DreamWorks had gone about it properly. But some fans prefer the mediocre DreamWorks film over whatever Megamind 2 was supposed to be. Speaking of, it was yet another sequel that didn't need to happen. It was a perfectly good standalone film. This second one missed what made the first movie so memorable: presentation. They just paraded him. And the fact that they renamed Minion into Old Chum says it all. People also feel dissatisfied with the animation quality, with some saying it looks similar to animations like Coco Melon, rather than adhering to the quality of the previous movie. Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, and How to Train Your Dragon got whole franchises. Even the spin-offs like Puss in Boots got amazing follow-ups. Yet Megamind gets this. It should have either stayed a one-and-done classic or had one more go on the big screen with the respect and effort it deserves. For now, I'm going to pretend that Megamind 2 and Kung Fu Panda 4 takes place in some forgotten, separate, or parallel dimension. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. Comment your thoughts on these sequels. Did you enjoy them? And thanks for watching.